Firstly, I'll introduce myself. My name is Donald Storage. It's a rather large gathering, and so consequently, as you yourselves haven't been able to get around to meet everybody, neither have I. The late Paul Anderson. He was in the 20th intake. I was the intake before, and he arrived over there, I think it was about May of '71. As it turned out, later on in life, we ended up living just a kilometre from one another. The two boys will be introduced to you because they want to say something on behalf of their family and dad. Kim, that you've been able to spend a bit of time and commitment to come along and do that, and our association thanks you.
The other morning at the dawn service, when I looked up at the flagpole, I instantly saw the constellation of Scorpio, and I knew they'd all be here in spirit. Thank you. I'd like to thank you all for coming. I'd also like to thank everyone that contributed to the book, all those who supported my dad in his short illness.
On behalf of the family and our association, to ask Kim if he would say a few words regarding and launch the book. Thank you.
Well, Joan, Tim and Luke Armstrong, who bring the guests of honour at this occasion. I'm sure I'm sure Paul probably is sitting up there watching what goes on here, and he's very proud of his boys today. They absolutely give him credit for the remarks that they had to make. I thank you all, and I thank him in particular for the honour that he gave me to invite the British to July the 4th. The British don't want to come. But I think the reality is this: when you actually have a day, and it's hard to get, you actually have a day that means so much to all your people, that's the day when you turn to each other. And that is Anzac Day for Australians. And why? Why? Because at the core of the Australian definition of themselves are the values that we discovered that we had, the attributes of character that we discovered that we had in successive wars that we fought last century and continuing into this century. What the Australian soldier became identified with became the core of the Australian character. Courage, egalitarianism, self-sufficiency, intelligence, making do, caring for your mates, compassion, fairness. These are all the sorts of attributes that over the years Australian service personnel, in whatever conflict they've found themselves engaged, have assessed, re-accessed each time they've found themselves in a conflict. The development in the Australian Army, that unit, and of the War Memorial. But above all, the tribute I want to pay tonight this afternoon is to the late Paul Anderson. This is a labour of love. This is a substantial contribution. This will leave Paul's name and life firmly in the mind of many Australians who would never ever have known him if he'd lived another 50 years. Would never have known him if he'd lived another 50 years. He has introduced all of you to the rest of your fellow Australians, and he's done a very good job of it. So I declare it launched.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the formal end of the proceedings. The book is on sale over here at $40.